Go ahead.
We will now call the meeting to order. Will Alders please take your seats? We'll have the city town clerk take the roll.
Who's next? Douglas.
Here.
Bird.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Singh.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Saban. Kupo. Decker.
Here.
Festa.
Here.
Haywood. Anjunes.
Here.
Santana.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Santiago. Crespo. Punzo.
Here.
Nicola.
Here.
Edwards. Epsilon Smith.
Here.
Winter. Morrison. Walker Myers.
Here.
Hamilton.
Present.
Marshawn.
Here.
Raheem.
Present.
Furlow.
Here.
Wingate.
Present.
Smith.
A quorum has been established. We'll now have divine guidance from order from Ward 20.
I'm going to recite a prayer to you in Arabic, and then I'll translate it. The prayer is called Surah al-Fatiha, which means the open, and it's the first chapter of the Quran. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Translation. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of the most gracious, most merciful God. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. All praise be to God, Lord of all worlds. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, the most gracious, most merciful. Maliki Yawmiddin, the only owner of the day of right. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. The path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with, or those who are astray. Each day we have a choice to embrace our differences, find commonalities within them, and unite with one another for the sake of our higher power and for the sake of humanity. There is much more that unites us than divides us. But unity requires action. Understanding requires the love of wisdom. And justice requires reason. We are faced with many challenging circumstances on a daily basis. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but it comes through continuous struggle. Al-Hajj Malik al-Shabazz, Malcolm X, once said, no man has believed perfectly until he wishes for his brother what he wishes for himself. For all of my brothers and sisters who are struggling under the weight of poverty, I pray that God guide us to be able to create substantive revolutionary change, and that He bless us with the support we need to continue to plant seeds of generational prosperity throughout this city. I pray for every person affected by gun violence in New Haven. I pray for Randy Cox and his entire family, may they be comforted. I pray that God grant us wisdom and forgive us for our shortcomings as we try our best to serve this city with dignity, honesty, and integrity. I make this last supplication for all of us. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, bi rahmatika astaghiith, asli la sharika lak, wa la takilni ila nafsi tarfata ayn. Which means, O ever living, O eternal one, I seek help through your mercy. Set right all my affairs, and do not leave me to myself for even the blinking of an eye. May God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, President. Reading. I will approval of the journal of the June 6, 2022 regular meeting of the Board of Alders.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Are there any corrections to the journal? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask you to see an item number 1 for the tax collector order tax refund 26, 2022.
Is there anyone going to deny? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under unanimous consent, I ask you to see an items 2 through 11. 2, order concerning real property taxes of Teodosha, Crespo, and motor vehicle accounts 759-272, 759-273, 619-71, and 83324. 3, order concerning real property taxes of April 4, 2022. Taxes. 67628. 5, order concerning real property taxes of Tamika Lewis, motor vehicle tax account 781-459-797-468, 813-259, and 829-456. 6, order concerning real property taxes of Jahida Mohammed, motor vehicle tax accounts 66504 and 717600. 7, order concerning real property taxes of Ronald Jose Francis Roland, motor vehicle tax accounts 920666 and 938617. 8, order concerning real property taxes of Damian Sanders, motor vehicle tax accounts 98047 and 95643. 9, order concerning real property taxes of Kenneth Q. Victory, motor vehicle tax accounts 105-729, 106-301, and 103-457. 10, order concerning real property taxes for Adrian M. Weeks, motor vehicle tax accounts 923-741 and 941-972. And 11, order concerning real property taxes of Derek Wright accounts 924-146, 942-409, 965-718, and 108-316.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move these items.
The items have been moved in second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 18.
Thank you, Madam President. These groups of residents agree favor taxes where each give their interest. So the city will be taking $3,110. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask you to see an item number 12. For the acting police submitting an order for the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven authorizing the mayor of the City of New Haven to submit applications to the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, 2022 Burn Justice Assistance Grant Program in an amount not to exceed $179,444 to support local law enforcement and to accept such funds if offered and to execute all documents and contracts as necessary.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Communications, I know item 13. 5. Item 36 through 30. The second reading, I move item 39, A through F, all kind of affairs favorable. A, order moving board also approving the appointment of Sochil Cindy Garcia to the Environmental Advisory Council as an alternate member. B, order moving board also approving the reappointment of Dr. Iris Kurtz Kaminsky to the Environmental Advisory Council. C, order moving board also approving the reappointment of Isaias Miranda to the Board of Police Commissioners. D, ordinary board of aldermen approving the appointment of Warren and Pittman to the Commission on Youth. E, ordinary board of aldermen approving the reappointment of Laura Khan to the Environmental Advisory Council. And F, ordinary board of aldermen approving the reappointment of Florentine Taylor to the Environmental Advisory Council.
Do I hear that? Okay, the item has been moved in second discussion. I call on order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Madam President. On Tuesday, May 31st, 2022, the Automatic Affairs Committee met. And we will like to favorably recommend these appointees. The appointees who are required attended the meeting and spoke before the committee enthusiastically about serving the committee at the city. The committee favorably recommends these appointees and urge colleagues to vote favorably to support their thinking.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. On the second readings, I move item 40. A through E, automatic affairs, please withdraw. A, order moving board of also approving the appointment of Oscar Yaravina to the Commission on Equal Opportunities. B, order moving board of also approving the appointment of Joy A. Gary to the City Plan Commission. C, order moving board of alders approving the appointment of Carl Gofield to the City Plan Commission as a regular member. D, order moving board of alders approving the appointment of Sean Busby to the Police Commission. And E, order moving board of alders approving the reappointment of Joel Fishman to the Police Commission.
Second.
The items have been moved in second discussion. On a leave to withdraw only, I call on order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. On Tuesday, May 31st, 2022, the Automatic Affairs Committee met and we requested to withdraw the given to these items. The appointees either did not attend as required or there was not enough time to allow them to attend the next Automatic Committee. Or they had turned out and need to step off or they didn't be appointed again. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion on the leave to withdraw? Seeing none, all in favor of giving these items leave to withdraw, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 41, City Services and Environmental Policy favorable, A through D. Resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a project authorization letter with the Water Street Cycle Project utilizing local transportation capital improvement program funding. B, resolution authorizing the mayor to accept funding from the Department of Energy, Environmental Policy, Environmental Protection, and sign any associated state agreements with contractors and other documents that may be desirable and necessary, including any subsequent amendments to agreements regarding repairs to the Columbia Avenue, Clinton Street, canoe launch. C, resolution authorizing the mayor to accept funding from the Connecticut Department of Energy, Environmental Protection, and sign any associated state agreements with contractors and other documents that may be desirable or necessary, including any subsequent amendments to agreements concerning the 2021 State Diesel Emissions Reduction Act for the purchase of an electric refuse vehicle. And D, order to read and file the communication title from Greater New Haven Landscaping accepting a public hearing concerning the proposed gas-powered leaf blower restriction date.
Second.
The items have been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 10.
Thank you, Madam President. On Thursday, June 2nd, 2022, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to favorably recommend item A. This project would install an off-road section over Water Street and the bridge. This track would connect the west cycle track to the north and south. And I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to support this item. Item B. On Thursday, June 2nd, 2022, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to favorably recommend this item. These grant funds will be used to work with the community to make improvements and repairs to the canoe launch located off Pontiac Avenue. I urge my colleagues to vote favorably for this item. Item C, on Thursday, June 2nd, 2022, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to favorably recommend this item. This grant funding will allow the city to purchase an electric refuse vehicle, which will provide more cost-effective and quieter service. I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to support this item. And item number D, on Thursday, June 2nd, 2022, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met, and we would like to recommend this item to be read and filed. Michael Frawley, owner and operator of Greater New Haven Landscaping, presented to the committee why landscapers need and rely on gas-powered leaf blowers. I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to read and file this item. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Ms. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing on the second reading, and move item 42, joint community development, health, and human services favorable order of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven, approving the City of New Haven's 2022 through 2023 annual action and statement of activities and use of community development block grant CDBG, home investment partnership, housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, and emergency solutions grants, funds to be submitted to the Department of Housing and Urban Development for federal financial assistance for planning and community development activities under the provision of Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended, PL 93-383. The Gonzalez National Affordable Housing Act of 1990 as amended, PL 101-625. The McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act of 2000 as amended, PL 106-400. The Homeless Emergency Assistance and Rapid Transition to Housing Earth Act of 2009 and the AIDS Housing Opportunity Act, PL 102-550, hereafter referred to as Housing and Community Development Program Acts, and for activities to be funded by program income and or reprogramming funds from prior grant years.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 26.
Thank you, Madam President. And dear colleagues, on behalf of myself and my honorable colleague, Alder Frank Douglas, Ward 2, we're proud to present another year's CDBG Consolidated Plan on housing and urban development money that is used for the city to improve the city and the lives of the city's residents. CDBG promotes neighborhood stability, quality of life, and economic development. It provides affordable and safe housing, better public facilities, and sidewalks. And also, it helps our youth and the homeless and the jobless and the people who find themselves with AIDS. For the 2022 fiscal year, the city will receive $7.2 million. As we know, this funding is never enough to meet all of the community needs we have. But as always, I'd like to thank my fellow co-chair, Alder Douglas, and our vice chairs, and as we call him, co-chair emeritus, Ward 29, and my vice chair, esteemed colleague, Ward 21, Alder Winter. Also, special thanks to all those who were on the committee, and I have to highlight the flexibility this year. As we know, this is the second time that we've gone through this process under pandemic conditions. They were extremely flexible. I just really sincerely thank all committee members for their time and efforts. In particular, with the amendment process, half of the committee were basically new to this process, and they did an excellent job and really picked up on the process really well. There's great hope for the future of the city in terms of these funds and this process. Also, we would like to thank community members and agencies that also took out time and sitting through the public hearings, which often went on for hours, but we got the objective done. Also, most importantly, thanking the Office of Management and Budget, Ron Gizzy and Allison Champlin for their time as well. And on the city side, we were able to access these funds and essential programming, and we hope to continue to do this work in the future. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? I call on order from Ward 2.
I think you're still need to have anything.
Okay, you handle that. You all said, okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 43, public safety favorable order for the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven, authorizing the Department of Police Service to apply to the National Police Dog Foundation for a grant to purchase a heat alarm for a canine vehicle and to assess such funds if offered and to execute all documents and contracts as necessary.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President.
This is a great opportunity to get a deep alarm for canine vehicle. The police department has added several dogs to the department, and this is a great investment in keeping them safe. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 44, public safety need to withdraw. Order the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven, authorizing the mayor of the City of New Haven to submit an application to the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Community Oriented Policing Services, 2022 Law Enforcement, Mental Health and Wellness Act Implementation Project, in an amount not to exceed $175,000 for enhanced mental health and wellness programs for law enforcement personnel, and to assess such funds if offered.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion on the leave to withdraw only. I call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. The police department is no longer seeking this grant, so we ask that previously moved on.
Any further discussion on the leave to withdraw? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Item passes, majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 45, tax data favorable, A through C. A, order concerning real property taxes of now paid ministries, tax account number 21964 and 27261. B, order concerning real property taxes of Ronald Conley, awarded tax accounts 824086, 824087, 90619, and 927810. And C, order abating, deferring collection of real property taxes from Grady and Gloria Jones on their residence grant list of 2019 and 2020.
Second.
The items have been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 18.
Thank you, Madam President. That they received a certification from the city January 1st, 2022. They have been paying the city their taxes that they were billed for grant list 2018. The tax rate we voted to recommend that they be funded. This These taxes that were paid on the property for those years in the amount of $27,043.58. Ask to approve this action. B, Mr. Conley had an old tax bill, current tax bill, and he owed the city. He no longer has the card and has asked both to the interest on it. Recommended that the interest that he owed be did and the tax bill will be adjusted to $800 and approved. C, Mr. and Mrs. Jones has requested a application under a meet the requirements of the program as recommended that it be approved.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under miscellaneous motions to discharge, I move item 46, automatic affairs. From the chair of the automatic affairs committee, submitting a motion to discharge the automatic affairs committee from consideration of the following item and to take it up for immediate action, order approving the appointment of Carl Jacobson to police chief.
Second.
The item has been moved and second. Discussion on a motion to discharge only. I call on order for Ward 13.
Madam President, the item was submitted to the board of Alders on 2022, 30 days ago, by the charge does not give the full court enough time to allow for a second meeting on this appointment. I respectfully request for discharge this item from the automatic affairs committee so that we can vote on it tonight. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion to discharge only? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item is discharged. Mr. Majority Leader.
I move yes.
Second.
The item has been moved and second. Discussion. I call on order from Ward 13.
Thank you, Madam President. At the automatic affairs committee held on Monday, June 27, 2022, we heard the assistant chief, Carl Jacobson, regarding his appointment as police chief. He presented his plan for the New England Police Department. Also, the committee heard from more than 15 community members who testified in support of A.C. Jacobson's appointment as police chief. Thank you, Madam President. And before I sit down, I would like to also say that there were a number of exciting things that the assistant chief is bringing to the table in his new plan, and I will wholeheartedly support it. And I hope the college stays for it. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I call on order from Ward 30.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise to stand in support of the Assistant Chief Charles Jacobson as the next chief of the city of New Haven. I stand for several reasons. One of the reasons I stand in support is that Mr. Jacobson is a man of integrity. He's a loyal man. He's a man that's respected among many in the city of New Haven. Not just of him being respected, I believe that after hearing the many testimonies that have came through the committee and listening to many different people, how people trust him. And it takes a person that is trusted by many. I believe by him becoming the chief of police, he will bring the department into a new era, which will be much better because he will give the ear and give the people the voice to speak to him in regards to things that can be changed. He gives them an opportunity to do so. I'm not going to stand before you all, but I just want to mention a couple of things. I believe that Mr. Jacobson knows about the community of Heath because he came from a community of such that when he was a young child. And he had to witness a lot of trauma in his own life, as well as we witness the trauma today. So he can relate to the young people and to the old as well. And by going through the trauma and seeing the trauma that we're going through now, he understands and he gives people an opportunity to talk about it and he listens. And we need someone that's going to be able to listen to the community and listen to the people as well so as listen to the people that are in his department. And that's something that he will bring to the table. He's been through 9 different police chiefs and never not once he complained about being on top of the food chain of becoming a chief. He stayed humble until it was his time. And I think we need to give him that opportunity to prove to the city and to prove to us that he is capable and willing to do this job. Most importantly, he lives in this city, and he's a community person. And I ask my colleagues to support him in this endeavor to become the next chief of police for the city of New Haven. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I will
I'm
now
sorry,
call,
Madam President.
thank you. I will now call on order from Ward 1.
Thank you, Madam President. Rather than support, Assistant Chief Carl Jacobson nomination for police chief. At the Aldermanic Affairs meeting, I was really impressed by his constant reiteration of the need for community input. The chief not only backed up the concrete ideas and plans, but also with people who highlighted Assistant Chief Jacobson's existing community engagement. I was struck by the community support he received from people of many different backgrounds, yet officers, community leaders, youth, and parents come out to support him. It said a lot when a young New Haven resident came before the committee and thanked Assistant Chief Jacobson for keeping his life on track, and when parents thanked Assistant Chief Jacobson for helping their kids. A person who has that sort of impact on our youth as a member of the police department is something unique. I'm confident that Assistant Chief Jacobson will work with the community, especially as we continue having much needed conversations around public safety and public initiatives today. Thus, I urge my colleagues to support the nomination. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on order from Ward 12.
Thank you, Madam President. When we met with Chief Jacobson, he talked about his plans, first 100 days, and he mentioned his next 6 months. And I think that was a good approach. It's important to have short-term and long-term attainable goals. His goals were well thought out, numerous, but certainly attainable. Some of what he spoke about reminded me of Sir Robert Peel's 9 Principles of Policing. Chief Jacobson said he wanted the community to be included. Very important for us. He wants them to trust the police and, in his words, allow us to police them. That's very similar to what Sir Peel said when he said the police are the public and the public are the police. I think Chief Jacobson truly believes in this concept and will do what's needed to get the police department back to the days of true policing, where the cops were helpers to the community, not a threat to the community. Lastly, I know from talking to officers that they truly trust and respect Chief Jacobson, as does much of the New Haven community. In fact, many came to the public hearing to testify on his behalf. So I will be voting in support of Chief Jacobson and ask my colleagues to do the same. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on order from Ward 2.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 2 words to say about Chief Jacobson, and that is accountability and approachable. And that means more to citizens of New Haven and in our community. This man is very approachable from all aspects, from young people to old people. I'm going to support him 100%. Thank you.
I will now call on order for Ward 4.
Thank you. I stand in support of this appointment. And I stand in support of this appointment because when I met Chief Jacobson for the first time, I met him on a corner on Spring and Rosette Street. I did not know him, but the engagement that I saw of how he worked the matter at hand that he was responsible for, it kind of appealed to me in a very special way. And when I sat here in our meeting on the Ultimate Affairs Committee, and he spoke about his passion on community-based policing, I also found that very significant because I've seen community-based policing work very effective in this city. When it was first in its first inception. And he would like to bring that back. One of the things that I see that is also significant about his appointment is that he has been very inclusive of all of the departments and units that are significant to the Department of Police. And you know, we are hurting in New Haven, but we are getting better. And we're all working very hard to make the police department the department it needs to be. And what I liked was that he presented a plan, and in that plan, he surfaced from, if you think about when, since we've been looking for a chief since November, even though the Department of Police has been taken care of in terms of having leadership, significantly, I saw in the plan presented before us how he utilized the units and how he utilized the department and how he utilized the input of the community and the discussions and the conversations in that plan. And I think we're gonna move forward in this department simply because he's including everyone that he can to the best of his experience, because he is one of New Haven's. He has gone up the ranks in the police department, and also because he has demonstrated at the Automatic Affairs Committee, fathers, mothers, and youth and children came before us to testify and to appeal to us to consider his appointment. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? I call on order from Ward 10.
27. Thank you, Madam President. I should rise in support of Chief Jacobson for the New Haven Police Department, as I did for our previous appointee as well. Assistant Chief Jacobson has received many accolades from the community. He has a presence in the community, which is much appreciated. But as I mentioned, when we approved our fire chief's appointment, we still have work to do. And that does not exclude the police department. We need to be sure our officers are fully trained to be what we expect them to be as New Haven officers. We will be watching and holding our department and department heads accountable. Assistant Chief Jacobson is respected not only by the community, but also by the officers that he represents. By hiring the talent we have in our department helps build morale and proves that we have that talent that it takes to be promoted here in New Haven with our New Haven officers. Assistant Chief Jacobson shows compassion and empathy, traits that don't come easy in people, and that's an important trait to hold, especially in such a high position. I have deep respect for Chief Jacobson. I know he will lead our department in the right direction, and he will also have the respect of the department and the administration. I encourage my colleagues to support this appointee and wish him the best of luck. Thank you, Madam President.
Before I call on anyone to speak, I'm gonna need for everyone to keep it germane to this particular appointment. Please don't try it. This is it. Any further discussion? I call on order from Ward 20.
I stand in support of the appointment of Chief Carl Jacobson. And I'll keep this brief, but I think that Assistant Chief Jacobson has demonstrated to me at least that when he says something, he'll do it to the best of his ability, and he follows through. So he's a man of his word, from what I understand, and also he's action oriented, which is so important for this position. I also want to note that I find it very commendable and also germane to his ability to be possibly a great police chief, is that he's pursuing his master's in criminal justice, taking the time to get advanced education to understand the law and criminal justice. So I think that, I urge all my colleagues to support this, award. Thank you.
I will now call on order from Ward 5.
Thank you, Madam President. I stand in support of the appointment for Mr. Jacobson as the new next chief of police. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I will now call on order from Ward 27.
Thank you, Madam President. I won't reiterate what has already been said, but I do want to stand to strongly support Assistant Chief Carl Jacobson to the position of Chief of Police. We heard his vision on rebuilding the philosophy of police accountability and to restore public trust. And I'm looking forward with great anticipation to support in whatever way possible his vision and plan to move forward with the Dearborn Police Department. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion?
Ward 3.
I'll call on order from Ward 3.
Thank you, Madam President. I stand in support of the appointment of Assistant Chief Carl Jacobson. In this city, a healing has to take place between the community and the police department. And I'll say on tonight, with this appointment, the healing can begin. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion?
Roll call, Madam President.
A roll call has been called. I will have the city council clerk take the roll.
Kuznick,
Yes.
Douglas,
Yes, yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Saban. Hello. Decker. Vesta,
Yes.
Haywood, Antunes,
Yes.
Santana,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Santiago, Crespo, Punzo,
Yes.
Nicola,
Yes.
Edwards, Echelon Smith, Winter, Morrison, Walker Myers,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Raheem,
Yes.
Furlow,
Yes.
Wingate,
Yeah.
Smith.
100 yeses. Is there anyone who haven't voted wishing to vote? Is there anyone who has voted wishing to change their vote? Seeing none, item passes majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing under miscellaneous motions to discharge. I move item 47, Health and Human Services from the Chair of the Health and Human Services Committee, submitting a motion to discharge the Health and Human Services Committee from consideration of the following item that is taken up for immediate action. Resolution of the Alders urging President Biden to retake the policy initiated by President Obama to build a new cooperative relationship between the United States and Cuba, and to immediately end all aspects of the United States economic, commercial, and financial embargo against Cuba.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion on the motion of discharge only. I call on order from Ward 26.
Thank you, Madam President. We're asking that this item be discharged due to a typo decision. And also, to speak to the resolution itself, it does speak for itself. This peace commission has been working.
This is just discussion on the motion to discharge.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any further discussion on the motion to discharge? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item is discharged. Mr. Majority Leader.
I move the item, Madam President.
Second.
Item has been moved and seconded. Now I call on order from Ward 26.
Thank you, Madam President. The item speaks for itself. And the policy, has been worked on by the New Peace Commission for at least 2 years almost. This was delayed, due to the pandemic, but we feel very, good about the timeliness of this policy moving forward. And the resolution is to reinstate, blockade blockades, remove the blockades against Cuba, in order for the history to move forward in the way that President Obama set forward in the past. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion?
20.
I call on order from Ward 20.
Madam President, I stand to urge my colleagues to vote in favor of this resolution. Honored to serve on the Peace Commission and know the good intention and hard work that was put into crafting this resolution. So I just urge all my colleagues to vote in favor. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes, majority leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 48, A and B, public safety. This is also under miscellaneous and a motion to discharge. The chair of the public safety committee submitting the discharge from the safety committee from consideration of the following items and to take them up for immediate action. A, order of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven authorizing the mayor of the City of New Haven to submit an application to the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services 2022 Officer Recruitment and Retention Program in an amount not to exceed $175,000 to develop a law enforcement recruitment and retention toolkit to enhance our current efforts and to assess such funds that offer and to execute on documents and contracts as necessary. B, order the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven authorizing the mayor of the City of New Haven to submit an application to the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Justice Programs 2022 Community-Based Violence Prevention Initiative in an amount not to exceed $2 billion to expand and enhance community violence intervention and prevention initiatives and to assess such funds if offered and to execute all documents and contracts as necessary.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion on the motion to discharge only. I call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. On item A,
We're only discussing the motion to discharge. Y'all want to discuss that? Okay, it's gonna be discharged from committee because of time constraints. Okay, any further discussion on that motion to discharge? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Item passed. Ms. Majority Leader.
I move these items, Madam President.
second.
The items have been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 29.
Thank you, Madam President. Item A, is a great help to recruit officers to create a cadet program. The committee is excited about the program and we expect to hear great things in the future about it. Item B, this is an application from the new department in the city to attract funding to help support, execute agencies doing violence prevention in this work. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend section 24-1-A of the rules of.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Under your consent of our suspension agenda, I ask you to see an item number 49 from all of us, submitting an order of Board of Alders approving the request to close portion of Elm Street for the commemoration of Seabury Cooperative's 50th anniversary.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved in second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 2.
Thank you, Madam President. The Seabury Cooperative Housing Complex has been in operations for 50 years and will be commemorating their golden anniversary on July 16, 2022, or a rain date of July 30th of 2022. They'd like to have a block party on Elm Street between Howell Street and Dwight Street. I urge support.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to close suspension of section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Aldermen to adopt further business. Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? And before a motion to adjourn is appropriate, and before I take points of personal privilege, I'm gonna ask everyone to just keep the whole entire city in prayer, like I do at almost every meeting. COVID is still out there, so I'm encouraging people to continue to wear your mask when you're in certain places and make sure you're doing your hands. And now I will take points of personal privilege. I call on order from Ward 6.
Thank you, Madam President. I have two announcements. The first one I'd like to make is that we will be hosting a community meeting at Tolbridge Square. City, state, Alders, and city departments will be on here July 7th at 7 p.m. and we will be speaking on the future of the youth center. If I may, I want to continue to the second item. A little bit more fun. Reminder to my colleagues, save the date. Black and Hispanic Caucus Gala will be held Thursday, October 27th at Anthony's Ocean View. Join us for a great time and a great cause. Honorees, tickets, and ad information will be forthcoming. Again, join us on October 27th. We look to see you there. Thank you, Madam President.
I will now call on order from Ward 25.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to invite colleagues and members of the public to attend the next monthly meeting of the Finance Committee. This will take place here in Chambers on Monday, July 11th at 6 p.m. The agenda will feature our second public hearing on the mayor's proposed allocation of $53 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds. Our intention and plan is to wrap up the committee's work on this item at the conclusion of those proceedings. Monday, July 11th, 6 p.m. here. Thank you, Madam President.
I'm now calling on order from Ward 20.
I'd like to invite everyone to the New Hope Housing Program Open House, which is from Christian Community Action Agency, hosted July 9th, 2022 at 11 a.m. at 660 Winchester Avenue. I had the opportunity to tour the facility, which will be for families coming out of homelessness, and it really is wonderful. Everything inside it provides a place for like dignity, really nice fixtures and programming. So I invite everyone to come out. Thank you.
I will now call on order from Ward 26.
Thank you, Madam President. Two more announcements that I'd like to make concerning the community block grant process. First of all, is our staff, Mr. Lucas, sick. This process is really extremely helpful in bringing us over the finish line. And secondly, I wanted to acknowledge a program that through leadership in this board of National League Cities and the importance of that to getting this community block grant funding. So I just want to acknowledge the delegation. That doesn't happen too often, but Alder Smith, Alder Wingate, Alder Hamilton, Alder Douglas, and any of those who have been in the past, and basically everybody at some point, who have gone down to Washington, D.C., and we literally lobby for every single dollar that comes back home for over 300 nonprofit organizations and community programs, sidewalks. That's what the importance of that program is. So we're just asking for that continued support in years to come. In D.C., here we come again. I'm sure there's going to be some more programs coming down the pipeline. I just wanted to highlight one of them, which is an energy community block grant that Senator Blumenthal and Senator Murphy has given their word that they would follow up with us. So National League Cities is important, and if you have the opportunity to think about exploring that, I encourage colleagues to think about it at some point. Thank you.
Are there any more points of personal privilege? I'll call on order from Ward 2.
I'm asking everyone for their prayers for my youngest daughter Frankie, who has COVID.
Are there any more points of personal privilege? Motion has been made and second. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say no. Everyone, get home safe, please. Can I please